Watch this video in Lesson Reach. Pause and ask questions, take a quiz, or get help with assignments. Link below.
Imagine you're coding, like a multi-million-dollar app, and one single user taps yes instead of no. Does the whole system just crash?
Well, it shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So today's deep dive is really about the ultimate logical blueprint that stops that from happening. And to get to the bottom of this, I'm actually going to play the role of the curious student today. I'm looking at section 2.3 of chapter 2 from Contemporary Mathematics.
That sounds perfect, and I am happy to take the lecturer seat to help map it out for you.
Yeah.
So think of this blueprint like a massive choose-your-own-adventure book.
Oh, I loved this as a kid.
Right. But as a programmer, you have to account for every single user choice. Like if they turn left, what executes? If they turn right, then what?
Right, you can't just leave a blank page.
Exactly. And section 2.3 introduces the truth table, which is essentially this graphical master key. It's for analyzing these really complex logical statements so nothing falls through the cracks.
Okay, let's unpack this because, we all know how basic A&D or OR gates work in computing.
Sure, the basics.
But to build a truth table that genuinely guarantees a system won't crash, we need to be incredibly precise about how we combine those initial statements, right?
We absolutely do. In formal logic, we're dealing primarily with negation, conjunction, and disjunction.
Right. Those are the big three from the textbook.
Yeah. So negation simply flips a truth value.
Yeah.
True becomes false, false becomes true. Conjunction is your strict AND condition. So both inputs absolutely must be true for the system to proceed.
Got it. Both have to be true.
But what's fascinating here is disjunction, which is the or statement. Because in everyday language, or usually means one or the other, right? Like, do you want coffee or tea?
Right, you don't usually get both.
Exactly. But in formal logic, or is inclusive.
Wait, so it accepts multiple truth states simultaneously. Like, if a secure server requires a badge scan or a fingerprint, an inclusive RR means the door still unlocks if you provide both.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't throw, a logic error for over-authenticating or anything?
Precisely. It is only false if everything is false. And that inclusivity is really the linchpin of formal logic, because it creates a failsafe.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it allows a system to process overlapping truths without breaking.
That makes total sense for a single security gate. But keeping track of all those inclusive combinations must get messy fast. Like, if I have 3 or 4 variables overlapping, my brain is already tying in knots. How do we actually visualize this without getting lost in the weeds?
Well, that is where the multiplication principle comes in. Because a logical statement only has 2 possible outcomes, right? True or false.
Right, it's just binary.
Exactly. So you can mathematically determine your table's exact size before you even draw it out. Every time you add a new variable, you just multiply the possible outcomes by 2.
Okay.
So 2 variables give you 4 rows, 3 variables give you 8.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because it scales exponentially, right? I saw that visual tree diagram in the textbook, and it completely hits home.
It really helps to see it laid out visually.
Yeah, you start with one true or false branch, and every subsequent variable splits those branches again. It goes from a simple fork in the road to a massive tangled web incredibly fast.
It scales up at blinding speed, which is exactly why we map it. But we aren't just drawing branching trees for fun here.
Right.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the entire purpose of a truth table is to determine validity.
Okay, validity.
Yeah. A complex logical argument is only considered valid if that final column in your truth table is entirely filled with true values.
Meaning it holds up under every possible condition, no matter what wild combination of true or false inputs you threw at it in the beginning.
Exactly. It proves the fundamental structure of the argument is perfectly sound.
Wow.
There's no hidden scenario, no weird combination of user inputs where the logic suddenly collapses on itself.
So what does this all mean? For you listening, understanding truth tables is basically a superpower.
It really is.
It gives you a bulletproof, objective way to test if a complex system, whether that's a labyrinth of legal contracts, a philosophical argument, or a piece of software, actually holds water.
It is a beautiful system.
Right.
I mean, you can take a massive convoluted argument and break it down into these really manageable binary components.
Right.
But this raises an important question. As systems get larger, How do these building blocks interact at a massive scale?
Right, because if adding just one variable doubles the complexity, think about the sheer size of the truth table required to map out the software running on the phone in your pocket right now.
Oh, it's mind-boggling.
It really is. Millions of lines of code, millions of AND and inclusive OR statements overlapping. At what point does a logic puzzle become just too massive for a human to solve without a computer? It really makes you appreciate the programmers mapping out every single branching truth just to keep our screens glowing.